Y'all, so as I've matured, and believe me, I used to say this dumb stuff too. All right. So no judgment, but I started to move further and further away from drifting through life. Right. So when I say this, I mean I stopped accepting things and ideas, even whole cultures that were passed down to me that I never questioned before. Now I like to think that I think more accurately. I think more logically, as I believe a man should. And now, when I hear someone say, I'm willing to die for my respect, I'm not, when I hear that, I'm not hearing strength anymore. Okay, y'all? I don't hear loyalty. I don't hear integrity. Honestly, I just hear foolishness. And what I hear is, I hear a man who hasn't clarified his purpose, ultimately. Because when I evaluate that statement with clarity, and by clarity, I mean knowing what I'm here for, knowing what I'm building, it really becomes simple, right? And the simplicity results in this. That's not a fair trade. That, guys, does not strike me as a good deal whatsoever. What kind of ROI is that? Let me get this straight. So you're willing to risk your entire life for somebody else's opinion? Bro, ladies, do you realize how precious life is? Do you understand the odds that you had to beat just to exist? There were millions of sperm all swimming, and you were the one who made it. You already, just from preconception, came out of the womb a winner. You're already the prodigal son. And this is how you want to spend your time? Really? So today I'm going to be unpacking this silliness, you all, this buffoonery, honestly, and it gets passed around and repeated as if this is wisdom, but it's not. So let's get into it. But first, what's good, Limitless Legion? Or if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. This channel is for the ones who know they're built for more, the ones who don't run from pressure, they grow through it. So with that being said, if you want to join the Limitless Legion, all you got to do is subscribe to the channel and leave a like because it lets the algorithm know we're building something real over here. But without further ado, the title of today's video is WTF you mean you willing to die about your respect? So first we have to define respect. Let's make it clear. Let's really make a case here, you all. And to do that, we've got to break down what we even mean when we say respect. Because when you say, I'll die for my respect, let's simplify what we're actually saying. What we're actually saying is that you need someone else's validation to feel whole, right? And not only are you seeking approval, you just said out your mouth that you'll die if you don't get it. Guys, do you know how wild that sounds? Because here's another thing we got to remember. When you need something, especially when we're talking about the realm of attraction, the more desperate you are for it, the further it's always going to run from you, get away from you. I don't need your respect. I don't give a F about your validation. But what I do care about is outcomes. Tangible, life-enhancing outcomes that align with my mission, with my purpose, and with my values. All right? So let's get something straight, guys. Because, I've been seeing a certain wave lately, certain guys going viral for being confrontational, right? Aaron the plumber. And I don't have a problem with him, but I noticed we respect him because he's willing to fight everybody. I don't think that's noble. I think that's insanity. especially if you're the person that has to fight and you allow other people's opinions to define now what you have to do and what you have to put on the line, right? Because what we're saying is, in order for me to get your petty respect, right, which is going to shift like the wind anyway, I've got to be on go mode 24/7, ready to throw hands and put my freedom, put my peace, my family, my life on the line. For what? For a crowd full of strangers that I'll never see again? And if you ask me, that's not warrior energy. That's insecurity in disguise. Let me tell you something, Limitless Legion. When you're winning in life, and I mean truly winning, you don't give a damn if people respect you or not. And that's just the hard truth. You care about momentum. You care about execution. You care about your mission. You're an addict, but your addiction is excellence, and your addiction is evolution. All right? So if somebody disrespects you in a parking lot, or if somebody looks at you sideways in a club, but you're in your purpose and your life is firing on all cylinders, that's not even going to faze you. You don't even blink. You don't even think twice, because you're too busy climbing, right? You're too busy climbing mountains than to care who's barking at your feet, you all. So we have to reframe this whole die for respect quote, right? Let's reframe the actual quote. What if we replace the word respect? Because sometimes we romanticize words. What if we actually replace respect with what it actually means, which is validation? So now let's picture a grown man standing up and saying, I'm willing to die about my validation. It don't hit the same, right? Because that's ultimately what it means. Now it sounds desperate, like you've got no anchor, like you've got no North Star. You don't have to stand for every petty confrontation, and you don't have to prove that you stand for something, you all. You just need to stand for your purpose, and you just need to stay grounded in that. And then everything's easy. Because that's what will actually outlast you, regardless. It's not going to matter whether some stranger respected you on a Tuesday. And one thing I'm also big about is being an accurate thinker. So let's talk about accuracy for a second. We have to start thinking accurately. Every decision is a negotiation at the end of the day. Your peace, your presence, your longevity, your mission. So let's negotiate. Is this confrontation worth trading those things? And if it's not, then walk away unbothered. Because I need you to understand, dignity is not defined by how loud you are. It's defined by how locked in you are. And here's the caveat though, because we need to be clear, because I know how the internet can get, and they'll take something and run with it, and we can't read between the lines. Guys, I'm not saying be passive, okay? Don't get me wrong. Like I said, we're weighing these things accurately. So maybe some things are worth dying for, right? Whether it's your values, your beliefs, if they're strong enough, sure. But most of the time when we're talking about disrespect, we're talking about ego. Okay? So that's what I'm referring to. I'm not telling you to be passive. Guys, don't walk in jail and on the first day somebody say, I like you and I want you. And you just say, take it. It's not worth dying for. You can have it. Don't do that, guys. Unless that's what you want to do. But what we're talking about, let's stay on track, is some random person's respect. And that's not worth my life. Okay? So if somebody crosses the line, but is not a threat to your safety or your family, of course. Or if it is a threat, then you handle it with no hesitation. But let's not confuse protection with ego and theatrics. Most of these beefs rooted in respect are really just rooted in ego and nothing more. You don't need to prove anything to people who don't even matter. All right? So this is where we have to start maturing, Limitless Legion. Right? This is where we have to start maturing. This is where we stop treating dumb mantras. Right? We stop listening to these dumb mantras and quotes. And we actually start building something and focusing on what really matters. You're here to create, to dominate, right? And to dominate in your lane, to build something that matters to you. And that's always going to take restraint. That's always going to take emotional clarity. And that's always going to take leadership. All right. So if you felt this message today, let me know in the comments. Drop a double L or drop whatever you want to drop, right? Double L is Limitless Legion. But I really want to know what's resonating with you. If you do want to drop a comment, and hey, if you want to support a little bit further, you want to support the channel, you can always treat me to an iced coffee. 8 pumps, not 7, of lavender syrup. So if that is something you want to do, I do have the cash out below, and you can leave a tip there if you really appreciate the message and you want to go a step further. But regardless, I just appreciate the support, the engagement, and I will catch you guys in the next video.